David, for your problem, tell them to hop on Facebook if they have it, if she's doing this live. So, welcome everybody to NAMI's education meeting for the month of May. This week, or month, we're doing NAMI 101. Just kind of a little bit more about what we do, what we have to offer, all of our different programs, and where we're involved in the community. I'm glad to see all of you coming out tonight. My name is Gwynn. I am the programs director for NAMI Wichita, and kind of have my hands in a lot of different things. So I'm one of your primary point people. Well, that is true. But before we get too far into this, I do want to introduce the board members that are here tonight because they would be happy to answer your questions after the meeting. So first up, we have Laura Rosenbaum. She is our board president this year. And then sitting down trying to fix the Zoom link is David Larson. He is our board treasurer.
No, I'm not.
Or, excuse me, secretary, board secretary.
I hate money. Thank you very much.
Board secretary, sorry, Teresa Carter is our board treasurer and she is not here tonight. Then we have Joe Klingenberg, who is one of our board members. And then we have Jason Platter, who is our board vice president. And then, let's see, anybody else? Esther Granados, who is one of our board members. And then our peer leadership council representatives from Wichita are Trish Klingenberg, and then my husband, Tim Gwynn, who was at the door when you guys came in. And Bernstein Williams is one of our board members. And she's like, what? She comes in.
You're a board member, darling.
Yeah. So before I get too much into this, did everybody get a ticket? Because we have drawings for gift cards tonight. So if you didn't, please go see my husband back at the door and tell him you need a ticket. Because we got quite a few gift cards to give away tonight. So with that, thank you everyone for being here. We're going to do a quick overview of a lot of different programs, and then we're going to open it up for Q&A so you guys can ask questions. I would also like to say there are bottles of water back there. Feel free to grab as many as you need. I know it's a little warm in here tonight. And then on the table are all sorts of information from NAMI programs to other community resources. So feel free to take what you need tonight, okay? So getting started, NAMI is the national, well, let me ask you this. How many of you know who and what NAMI is? And all my board members better be raising their hand. All right, so everybody knows what NAMI is, so I don't have to go into that whole spiel.
Well, no, there was one over there that was kind of...
Okay, well, all right, then I will go into it. Thank you, Michelle, for helping me.
Speak up, you gotta speak up, people, if you don't know.
Yes, yeah, we are not shy in NAMI Wichita. So, NAMI is the National Alliance on Mental Illness. We provide education, support, advocacy, and just awareness to destigmatize mental health. We support both the individuals that live with mental health conditions or the symptoms, and we call them peers. And then we also support the family, and by family we mean in the generalist sense of the word. Friends, people who care about you, people who support you, anyone in your circle of trust and support, they are considered family. All of our programs, except for provider, are free to the public, and I'll go over more of those programs here in a minute. How many know what the national average for the number of adults in the U.S. that live with a mental health condition?
Off the top of our head.
We're just seeing...
Not you.
Don't
Bernstein, what do you think the number is?
1 in 5.
Yes. So 1 in 5 adults in the United States lives with a mental health condition. So when you think about it, as our state executive director likes to say, 5 in 5 adults are affected by mental illness either through themselves or somebody that they know. And that's why we do what we do. We are here in NAMI Wichita. We are a completely volunteer-run organization from our board members on down. So I have this fun little stat sheet that NAMI National put together on mental health in Kansas. Anyone want to guess how many adults in Kansas live with a mental health condition?
1 in 3.
Probably.
I'm looking for a full number.
Oh, who knows?
212,000.
Higher.
300,000.
Higher.
400,000.
Higher.
500,000.
Not quite.
450.
Not quite.
435.
38,000.
420,000 adults in Kansas have a mental health condition, and that's just the adults. And according to the stats, that's 3 times the population of Topeka. So yeah, we have a need. For those of you that don't know, Mental Health America puts out a basically state of the United States report every year. Kansas ranks 51 out of 50 states plus the District of Columbia when it comes to 15 different aspects of mental health, whether it's from resources, access to providers.
We're poor at it or we're good at it?
We're bad.
Or that's what I thought.
We are
We are
50,
the worst.
we are 51st.
I know, we stink.
We are the worst in the nation and the District of Columbia
Because of Medicaid.
because of 15 different areas where we are lacking in mental health. So that is why those of us that volunteer do what we do. And we want to help destigmatize, we want to help educate, we want to help support. So that's kind of a very brief overview. I'm going to go into what we call our signature programs real quick, and then I'm going to bring up some other people to talk to you about other things that we do here in NAMI Wichita. So we do 3 main things. The first thing we do is we have education programs. So the 2 big ones that we do are our NAMI Family to Family and our NAMI peer-to-peer classes. These are both 8 weeks classes. They're free to anyone who wants to participate. They're about 2 to 2.5 hours, 1 time a week for 8 weeks. You get a free participant manual with it, and it provides a lot of information and resources and other local stuff in those classes. I am trained in both sides because I am both a family member and a peer. David does peer stuff, my husband does both sides of stuff. There are other people in this room that are one side or the other or both. I bring these up because we do have some in-person classes. We had 1 family to family in-person class last year, but we haven't had an in-person class in 3 years?
Yeah.
Basically.
So we have a family to family in-person class and a peer-to-peer in-person class coming up. So the family to family class starts June 1st. It's on Saturdays from 9:30 to noon at the Lorraine Avenue Lorraine Avenue Mennonite Church. Most of you guys know Treva. She's going to be one of the teachers. The other couple that's coming to speak with them, they are very active in the mental health community. We, so far, don't have anybody registered for this class, which is very sad to me because it is a very good class for family members. So, my request, if you're a family member and you're interested in learning more about mental health, please sign up for this class. If you do not have an email address or have difficulty, my phone number is on here. The helpline phone number is on here. You guys can reach out to us and we will help get you registered for this class. If you don't have already taken the class but want to help spread the word, please take some of these flyers and spread them everywhere, because that's part of destigmatizing mental health, is educating ourselves about it. The other class we have is our peer-to-peer class, and that is the class for those of us that live with a mental health condition or symptoms of a condition. I will also qualify that you do not have to have an official doctor diagnosed mental health condition to come to this class. If you are experiencing symptoms of depression, anxiety, psychosis, suicidal ideation, any of that, you are welcome to come to this class. This class is going to start July 27th. It's on Saturdays. It will be in the afternoon starting at 2 o'clock here in this building. Again, if you need help registering, my phone number is on here, as well as our helpline phone number. Please reach out to us and we will help get you registered for this class. We also have access to what is called NAMI Basics, which is for parents or guardians of children 22 years or younger. That one is held virtually. We're working with NAMI Kansas to do those virtually because I don't have enough teachers for that class yet to offer it here in Wichita. The other one that we really want to promote is NAMI Homefront, and that is for family members of service members, vets, loved ones of service members or vets that live with a mental health condition, and it's specifically geared towards that military and veteran community. It's a very impactful course. That is how I found NAMI, and as a lot of people like to say, that's where I started drinking the NAMI Kool-Aid. So it does make an impact. Most of our teachers in NAMI Kansas that are Homefront leaders are out of here in Wichita. And in fact, NAMI Wichita has 2 state trainers for that program as well. So
That's for family members, right?
it is. Veterans can also attend if they have like a battle buddy that is a veteran or active duty that's living with a mental health condition, and they're helping them get through that part of the process. So, but yes, you do need to have some connection to the military to take that class.
But I don't have a family member who can't help that. They don't think they're not crazy, but they're not gonna go.
We'll talk later. So, so those are our education programs. The other thing we have is our support groups. And we have several people in this room who are some of our support group facilitators. So we have 2 primary ones. We have a family support group and we have connection support group. Connection is for those individuals who we consider peers. Family support group is for those individuals we consider family members. Those support groups meet right now hybridly, meaning both in person and virtually, on the 3rd Tuesday of every month. I'll get more into the schedule here in a minute, but that's when they meet. And then we have, specific to NAMI Wichita, we have something called Share and Care, which meets the 4th Tuesday of every month. And that is a combined support group for both family members and peers. But it follows the NAMI support group model.
It's more casual.
It is more casual. I'm not in charge of that one specifically, so I can't be like, no, I can't be strict with everybody. You know, get my ruler out and whack David's knuckles.
I haven't been in a while.
She's a time Nazi.
I am a time Nazi.
That's okay.
So
You're something else.
I'm nebulous.
So another thing, she was not able to make it tonight, but we have a new board member. Her name is Maria, and she is helping us reach out to the Hispanic community here in Wichita, and she is looking to start a family support group specifically for that community. We're right now in the beginning stages. However, if you guys know of anyone who's fluent in Spanish and is willing to be trained to be a facilitator or to teach the family-to-family class, please send them my way. I will get them trained and we can start offering these programs in this community. Speaking of schedule, so back there on the table, there's a document that says NAMI Wichita at the top, and it lists all these lovely little things. So this is our monthly schedule of events that we do every single month. So the first Tuesday of the month, obviously, is our education meeting. We talk about anything and everything mental health. This month, you guys get me talking NAMI 101. Last month, they talked about NAMI walks. The month before that, we had a presentation from the Breakthrough Club. I'm not entirely sure who next month is.
We're not doing next month.
Okay, so we're not having an education meeting next month because most of the board members will be in Colorado for NAMI conference. So
that's June.
yeah.
That
so,
is June 4th.
Yeah. So the next meeting will be in July. Do
Right.
you have the date?
Is it July 7th again?
Maybe. No. Yes. July 2nd.
July 2nd, yeah.
July 2nd will be our next education meeting at 7 o'clock. This place. Then
And-
go ahead.
It'll probably be the people who are at NAMICon talking about NAMICon.
So there you go. The third Tuesday of the month at 6 o'clock, we do what's called Ask the Doctor Hour. And that's where we have a third-year resident from KU Med Center who is a psychiatrist come in and answer any and every question you guys want to throw at them about mental health. It is unscripted, and they are here to answer to the best of their knowledge. We have a different resident come in usually every month. So that is the third Tuesday of every month. And then, so for this month, that would be May 21st. And that's at 6 o'clock in this room. After that is when we split into our support groups. We have family support group, and then we have connection support group. And those start at 7 p.m. Ask the doctors at 6, support groups at 7. Then the fourth Tuesday of the month at 6:30 is the Share and Care support group, and that is held at the College Hill United Methodist Church. And if you could pick up one of these pieces of paper, it does have the address on there and all these times and locations. And then, because Eli is not here, I'm going to turn it over to David here in a second. Almost every Thursday afternoon, around 2 or 2:30, there is a craft group that meets and gets together and works on craft items. So I'm going to turn it over to David for a minute to talk about the craft group.
For a minute, okay. Let's
2
try
minutes.
this.
You get 2
So,
minutes.
NAMI Wichita has a craft group. We meet on Thursdays at 2 or when the leaders get there. For the last several years, we've met primarily at Panera on East Central and Hillside, near across from Wesley Hospital. And why is that doing that to me? And you would do this to me. See, she rushes me, and I can't do this now. We will continue to meet there at least once a month, but we'll be moving most of our meetings to North Heights Christian Church, where we will be able to do projects that require drawing time and such. We should be able to do more complicated projects and won't have to drag the supplies along because we'll have a place to store them. It will also help to have things on hand for those times when when creators have creative ideas to change a planned project and make it theirs. We do all sorts of things. Let's see, where am I at here? We do all sorts of things. We always eat. I can't believe I don't have food pictures. We talk, we debate, we have a lot philosophical discussions. We compare notes on how we're doing. And where are we at here? Oh, yeah, okay. We do all sorts of things. Let's see, we color. We make weird things. We change things.
Yeah, they've made
Yes.
display table pieces for both NAMI Kansas Conference and for our annual dinner in December and for our picnic.
We change things. We do mixed media. Come on. Why are you not advancing? Thank you. We paint. We draw. These drawings started out from drawing hand shapes. We cut and glue. Oh, still on the hand shapes. Yep. Come on. There we go. Let's see. We cut and glue. We make wall hangings. We've made wreaths. We make things themed for the holidays. We work on, come on, more wreaths. Come on. Getting home. We work on puzzles. Yeah, you just saw Richard working on puzzles. We're free to relax and do different projects. We're free to bring our own personal projects. The craft group began because we started getting together to make ornaments for the alternative gift market. It finally has dawned on us that we didn't really have to wait for the market to come around to get together. We also start making things to decorate tables for NAMI Wichita special events. Now we also decorate tables in Topeka for the NAMI Kansas Conference. People come when they can. We enjoy our time together. Sometimes our project is a flop, usually not. Those garden mushrooms, where's the garden mushrooms? All right. Those garden mushrooms sure didn't turn out. Sometimes we just go and eat. Sometimes some of us craft and some of us socialize. It all depends on each one of our needs at the time. One thing is for sure, we would welcome you to join us.
Thank you, David. I do have one question. Is this for anyone or just peers or peers and family members or
Anyone.
anyone? All right,
They
awesome.
know how to do anything or not.
Right. So yeah, they're fun. I know a lot of you didn't see us at our tabling event the last 2 days, but Eli worked with us to create what are called calming bottles, something that you can focus on when you're maybe
go.
having a bad day or upset. And they turned out really cool. They were very popular. We're probably going to do them at a couple more tabling events this year, and that is all thanks to our craft groups. So
253 of those?
yeah, we went through 253 over 2 days for kids and adults, so it was quite fun. So recommend the craft group. If you want more information on it, find your name on the sign-in sheet and just make a mark on there about craft group, and we will get your phone number to Eli so that she can text you updates on where they're meeting and what time. So that is craft group time. So those are all of our official events every month that happen consistently. We do have other events throughout the year, like you heard us mention. We usually do a picnic in the summer. We have our annual dinner in December. The candlelight, what is it called? The candlelight vigil. Thank you. I couldn't think of the name. Is in October. We're working on doing an event for July for minority mental health. What is the full name?
B.B. Moore Campbell National Minority Mental Health Month Awareness Event.
What is it? When is it?
It'll
Handing
be.
out a half-sheet flyer.
Where is it, back there?
I don't know. Laura was passing them out. It's going to be on July 27th at the Wichita Metroplex. July 27th, so a couple months from now. But we will be putting more information out, especially in the July meeting. We will have everything more fine-tuned and can give you an agenda and everything by that point. So, yeah, I think that is all of the very basics that I need to talk about. So, I'm going to let a couple other people talk about things, whether they know they're talking or not. First up, I'm going to introduce Michelle. And Michelle does many things for us. But Michelle's primary job is she is our helpline person. So can you tell us a little bit about the helpline and what you do? You're going to have to come up here and talk loudly.
Yes, talk very loudly.
Thank you for reminding me. My name is Michelle, and if you call the helpline, I am usually the individual that returns the calls. We have a pre-recorded message so that if the person knows it's an emergency, they know who to contact as far as comp care for a crisis, intervention, all of that is told at the beginning. If they're interested in NAMI and the education classes and the support groups and what NAMI has to offer, then they leave the message, and I am usually the person that calls them back. A lot of times we get callers that think we have services like nurses, doctors, counselors, therapists, this kind of thing, and I have to clarify that usually right in the beginning. But I always ask them at the beginning how they heard about NAMI, and you'd be surprised. I mean, it's such a wide range of how they heard about NAMI. And what they're looking for usually is resources. I always mail them a brochure. I always mail them a card guide to the, a card to the, I'm trying to hurry my 2 minutes.
You're right.
I always mail them a card for the resource book, for the resource guidebook. Now sometimes we'll get callers, that don't have access to this, and then we have to mail the booklet out, is what I do. But usually they do. They usually can do that. And then our NAMI card. These are such good tools for them to have in hand, because they will forget, but they always want to know about the classes, about the support groups and this. And I usually start sharing that with them, which is basically going through, this, and all of a sudden they become overwhelmed. And I said, it's okay. It'll be in your brochure. Sometimes they just want an ear. And that's where you just listen to what's going on. They could be in the middle of a crisis. It could be the individual themselves and whatever. There's been times where I've said, you know, can I get back with you? I don't have the resource right in front of me. And the nice thing about that, you can always go to Google, right? And look that up, you know, whether it's on Asperger's or, you know, what are the resources here or there. But they just want a friend.
If
They
they're in
want to.
crisis, what do you do?
I'm sorry, if they're in crisis, we refer, well, depending if it's the individual or if it's the family member, right? Because there's our 988 line. There's also the resource of the Crisis Calm Care. When David Peterson first asked me to take this on, he was moving to Kansas City. I said, I am not qualified. And he goes, you will learn. You will learn. And so we're always looking, I mean, if you're interested in helping with the helpline, I would love to meet with you or let Tara know. And I can tell you a little bit about that. Bernstein has helped us before with that. Sometimes it's nice. Sometimes rotating the phone line can be challenging at times, but we're kind of trying to navigate that in a little bit better job sharing kind of thing. So that's kind of about the NAMI helpline.
Thank you, Michelle.
Okay.
All right, Dan, since Laura's over there, Dan is kind of our taking over for Jerry and doing our CIT program. So
I didn't know. Oh, yes, I am, I guess.
Surprise!
Surprise! Yeah, I'm Dan Smading, and I was on the board until last year, so I think Jerry was looking for something to keep me busy because I was dropping off the board. So he asked Rich Morley and I to come to a CIT council meeting last year, and we started doing that. And then last fall, Joe and we got to attend our first CIT training. So what
You better say what CIT stands for.
CIT stands for Crisis Intervention Team, and the training is not for us. It's for law enforcement primarily. It's a week-long training program, and the CIT Council has NAMI representatives attending, but it's really run by law enforcement. They are coordinating the training for law enforcement. It's a voluntary education program for them. They're not required to have it, but a good portion of the Sheriff's Department and the Wichita PD have taken it voluntarily, which is great. A big part of what they learn about is how to interact with people that are in crisis, because they get the calls when people are in crisis.
For de-escalation.
And de-escalation, yes. De-escalation is a huge part of that. And then what NAMI does in the training is we have 3 different programs that we introduce to the officers during the training. There's a peer-to-peer. No, I'm sorry. There's what's the one? The share. Sharing your story. Well, sharing your story is what we do.
Oh, in our own voice.
In our own voice. That's the one. I'm sorry. I missed that. So in our own voice, we have that session, and then we have a session with family members to share your stories with your interaction with law enforcement, and then we have a session with peers to share your stories. So they're all geared toward helping law enforcement sort of understand from our point of view what we experience to help them help us in the future.
Awesome.
Yep. And there is some training for us
Yes.
associated with that, and I'll just mention that coming up. So in October?
No, I think we're doing, David, did we decide to July?
July?
Or
Well,
next sharing the story?
it's coming up. So we have,
Oh,
Coming up
okay,
soon.
yeah, the CIT training is coming up in the fall, but before that, there is a NAMI program called Sharing Your Story with Law Enforcement,
yes.
and that trains you how to tell your story effectively to law enforcement. It doesn't matter if you are an individual with a mental health condition or you are a family member, especially if you've had interaction with law enforcement, positive or not so positive. We encourage you to sign up for that training. David is looking up the date for the next one. David and I are the state trainers for that. So we can do a training just here in Wichita if we want it, if we have enough people. And I know Joe wants to do it, but we need more people to have a training. There is an online portion of training that you will have to complete before you do the Zoom portion of training, or if we have only NAMI Wichita people, we can find a location and do in person, not on a computer. So something to consider. I think we decided July, August, maybe September, I don't know. David and I's schedule got really crazy there for a while, so he's looking for it.
It still is crazy. Yeah.
Right.
Can I add to that?
Yes, go ahead, Joe.
I've been to 2 of those so far. Last time there was 27 officers there. First time it was 43. And that gets, as a family member, gets my story out to law enforcement, which helps it, helps the paramedics, the law enforcement. Stuff they didn't know before, it helps them tremendously and us. They can improve on what they're doing, and I encourage all family members and little friends. That goes too, they get out there and tell your story. It helps a lot of people, and it helps officers.
Yeah,
Hand in hand.
as I say, a lot of police officer, I wish James was still here, but a lot of law enforcement officers really appreciate hearing both positive and not so positive experiences so that they can be better and do better for our community that we're trying to outreach. So thank you for that, Dan. Laura doesn't know this, but I have some gift cards up here that we're gonna give away. So I'm gonna have David draw a name and then number for the first one.
And unless you guys paid me beforehand, I can't draw your number. Okay, so the first number is 7. You don't want me to do that, do you?
No.
The last 3 numbers are 065.
065. Anyone?
So apparently no one. So I get that one.
Wrong.
No. All right. 065 knows here.
Sadness. Okay. Okay, so the last 3 on this one is 061. Oh, come on, folks. Oh, it was Dan.
All right, Dan.
Talks, you can't-
Do you want Dairy Queen, Sonic, or Dylan's?
Oh, wow. Sonic or Dairy? Well, it has to be Dairy Queen.
All
because-
right. Don't worry, we've got 3 more drawings coming up, guys. All right, thanks, Dan.
Just 3?
Yeah, well, for this one. We'll save the rest
Okay.
of them for a future meeting.
Okay.
Now I'm going to, the next major event that we have is called NAMI Walks, and that is one of our biggest fundraisers of the year. So I'm going to turn it back over to David to let him briefly talk about NAMI Walks.
Notice how she says briefly. Basically, NAMI Walks is the NAMI way of raising funds for all that we do, because all of our programs, like she said, except for provider, and that's an excuse, that's a different thing entirely. All of our programs are free of charge. You do not pay for the manual. You do not pay for shipping. You do not pay for any of that stuff. So NAMI Walks is what helps support us in that endeavor. And basically, we'll be walking up into Topeka May 18th at Westridge Mall. You do not have to go to Topeka, though, to help with the program, because you can also sign up under one of our 2 current teams that we have here, which is the NAMI Wichita Walkers, which is headed by Jerry and Treva Lichty, and the other one is NAMI Wichita's Enlightened Minds, which is headed by you-know-who. And basically, we have several people who are signed up for that, who will or will not be going. It just depends. But by all means, you can just contact me to be able to make a donation, to be able to join my team or the Wichita Walkers team, or if you want to set up your own team and just really help out, because you might have some great friends. That's it.
Thank you, David. Thank you for being short, too. So the next thing I want to talk about is a project that is NAMI Kansas-wide, but we have a lot of people here in Wichita that help out with that. And it's what I call the JIP program. Apparently people don't like it when I call it that. It's JIP, J-I-P. It's the Justice Involved Persons Program. I don't know how many of you might remember Dr. Brittany Harms, but she's in charge of the program. But basically it's where they take NAMI Connection and NAMI Peer-to-Peer into this list of jails and correctional facilities around the state. And David does it, I know Tim does it from here. They visit Reno County, Butler County, all over the state. So there is a little one-page flyer about this back on that table. So if you have a loved one that is a justice-involved person that is in one of these facilities, please let them know that we have these programs in place where they can go and talk. David?
So she was partially right. So the jails only have the connection support group. The correctional facilities have both the connection support group as well as the peer-to-peer program. So we're able to help the correctional facilities because they have longer stay time, so we can do the 8-week program.
Thank you.
And the jails are just connections, and the other the prisons are the other.
Our connection and peer-to-peer.
And we're also working both as a affiliate and with the JIP program on working with some of, in Sedgwick County, on people who are freshly getting out of jail and coming through a peer-to-peer program and connection support groups specifically for that group. But that is long-term planning. We're still working on that, but that is something that we're looking at coming up. What other programs do we need to talk about that I have not mentioned? I know.
Jeez, don't put me on the spot. Really
Hey,
don't.
Trish or Tim, do you guys want to talk about what the Peer Leadership Council is doing? One of you. She threw it to you, Tim, so.
Peer Leadership Council, Trish is the #1 seat, I'm the second head seat. This is a peers, this is a look at how do we bring members to NAMI, and how do we get persons who are affected by issues or challenges within the field of mental health, and then we have different seats across the state and different affiliates, and just like within Wichita, all the different affiliates across the state have different seated members. So we recently had a vote in. The newest president is actually Reese Keller. He's a student president out of K-State. Yeah. We also have Brenda out of Kansas City. We also have Peyton Keller, who is second vice president. So we have all these newly assigned persons, and we'll be looking to do some new things with the PLC program over the next several months. Hoping to see this come to fruition, and anybody who wants to help out with that, we are willing to take ideas and see what we can possibly do within Wichita to see how we can bring new members, and hope to see that program come to life here.
I would also like to add to that, David has a saying, nothing for us without us. Is that how it is?
Nothing about us without us.
Nothing about us without us. And that's kind of what the Peer Leadership Council is about, is for peers to have a voice in NAMI at the affiliate, state, and national level. Because we don't want to force something on you guys that is not going to be effective. We want the input of our peers on what we can do to better help serve you and support you in your mental health journey. So that's kind of where that is. So Trish and Tim if you are a peer, they are your point people for NAMI Wichita. All right.
I'd like to add one other thing to that, and that is if you know anyone who is a peer, a person with lived experience in any other counties in Kansas, have them reach out to me at the state level, all right? And yeah, because we could definitely use their voice as well in building up other affiliates. 058. Ha
All
ha!
right, Gwynn,
Yes.
Sonic or Dylan's?
Dylan's.
There you go.
Dylan's is always awesome. Yeah.
I know, food, right? I had something else. Oh, I know what I was going to talk about. All right, we guessed the adult ratio of mental health conditions. Who wants to guess the children ratio of mental health? Meaning
1 to 4.
18 or under? Under
1 to
18.
4.
1 in 4? Not quite.
More or less.
Depends on how you want to look at it.
1 to 3.
No, wrong direction. Close. 1 in 6. There at 1 in 6 youth aged 6 to 17 experience a mental health disorder each year. And according to these stats, 35,000 Kansans aged 12 to 17 live with depression. That's a lot of people. So with that, one of the things that Laura and I are working very hard to bring back to, well, NAMI Kansas, but first NAMI Wichita, because we prefer NAMI Wichita, is a program that we have called Ending the Silence. And what this program is a presentation that we take into high schools and middle schools to talk about mental health to these kids. And the holdup that we're experiencing, or at least one of the holdups we're experiencing, is it is a 2-person team that goes into these schools and talks about it. One of those persons has to be someone between the ages of 18 and 25-ish that lives with a mental health condition or has experience living with a mental health condition and is willing to tell their story. So the call we are putting out right now is we need 18 to 25-year-olds that are willing to talk about their experience with mental health, that are also willing and available to talk to middle schoolers, high schoolers, parents of these age ranges, school faculty of these age ranges. The training is free. We will do what we can. The USD 259, which is the Wichita School District, has been begging us for at least a year to get something into our school systems, and this program is the way NAMI can respond to that. So we are desperately looking for those people. I will caveat then, if you are not a current volunteer with NAMI Wichita, I have an interest form up here. Please fill one of these out and give it to me or any of the board members before you leave tonight, and tell us you're interested, and we will get you plugged into any of these programs, any suggestions you have for other programs. If you want to help in any other areas, please let us know. We are in desperate need of volunteers. I know David and I are getting a little burnt out.
You know, when Trina was here, she called me with this stuff, and I'd go, but no one's bothered to call me about it.
Because
I don't have email. Shut up, shut up, shut up.
And I did not know that. So now I have your phone number, and I will make sure we call you.
Shit.
But that...
Hey, Tara.
Yes.
Piper is interested in helping. She is 22.
Oh.
And she is one of our, the folks watching Facebook Live.
Oh, awesome.
So would you like
Piper.
to tell Piper how she can get in touch with you?
Absolutely. So to get in touch with me, the easiest way is email or text message. Email is t.gwynn@namiwichita.org, and I will make sure somebody puts that in the chat for you. Or after it, we'll put it in the chat. The other way is you can call our helpline that is on our website, and Michelle will be more than happy to give you my phone number and my email. I just don't want it all over Facebook. My phone number, that is. I don't care about the email. So, does that answer your question, Piper?
We'll give her a minute to type.
That's okay. That's okay. Michelle, what's the helpline number? Do you know?
Yep. 686-1390. 73. I'm sorry. 686, but I have Piper's information.
Oh, perfect. Well, Piper, Michelle will get me your information and I will reach out to you this week.
She said thank you, and David entered your email in the chat. So,
Oh, well, perfect.
And Tara has frozen on my screen.
Oh. Well,
Oh, okay, you're still looking.
while I'm not frozen, I'll have David draw for one more, and then we'll do Q&A, and then after the Q&A, we'll do the big prize.
Geez, lots of sixes here. 066.
Jennifer.
Jennifer, yay!
To Sonic. Here you go. Oh, you can keep it. You can keep it. All right, guys. So with that is a lot of information about a lot of things. So let me ask you, online, in person, does anyone have any questions? Yes.
Do you have any court mandated programs since you're in with the...
Right. So we do not yet have any court mandated programs. We are slowly working with the veterans courts to kind of integrate the Homefront program into that. I know Dr. Harms, we all call her Dr. B. She is trying to get us into some post-stint court mandated programs, but we are hitting some speed bumps in that road, but we are definitely working towards getting to that level.
Thank you.
Even though we personally, as NAMI Wichita, do not have any court-mandated programs, we do participate with the Assisted Outpatient Treatment Program, which is a court-mandated program.
But that's not in every county. That's
true. That's not in every county,
Sure.
But that is in a lot of counties.
And if you need more information on the AOT program, I will send me an email and I will direct you to the person at NAMI Kansas that is responsible for
Mostly
that program.
curious. But
You're welcome. No worries.
thank you.
Yes, Bernstein.
Did you say anything about in our own voice?
Dan briefly mentioned it, but in our own voice is what I didn't do the presentations. So thank you, Bernstein. So in our signature programs, we have multiple presentations that we give. One of them is called In Our Own Voice, and that is where we have individuals with lived experience of having a mental health condition tell their story. David and I just did one a couple weeks ago in front of a ministerial alliance, a bunch of pastors in the Wichita and surrounding areas. And we go in and we tell our stories and answer questions. It's one of the ways that we help destigmatize mental health conditions, living with mental health conditions. Another presentation that we can give is called Family and Friends. And that is presented by family members of individuals with mental health conditions. And we basically do our 8-week family-to-family class in 90 minutes. Yeah, it's a lot of information really quick.
And she has it down to 60 minutes.
Yeah, I can get it down to 60 minutes if I need to. We also have the Sharing Our Story with Law Enforcement, which is not just for CIT, but is just training to talk to law enforcement. So if like Hayesville Police wanted to reach out to us and say, hey, we're having a meeting, can you come talk to us? We would have somebody trained in Sharing Your Story with Law Enforcement come out, and that is both family members and peers. So really anyone can be trained in that program. We also have something called FaithNet, where we take mental health awareness and go into faith communities. And notice I didn't say Christian communities, I said faith communities. Faith communities in any, Jewish synagogues, mosques, any sort of faith community, and that is a presentation focused on them. We are also working on building back up our Sharing Hope, which is geared toward the African American community. And if we have anyone interested in some of our Southern Asian communities, there are programs that we can build and have them trained in to present in those communities as well. Any other questions? Any Facebook questions? All right, so let's do. Oh,
Hands up.
yes.
On the JIB program, are they going to JDF to open a juvenile house?
Not yet, but we're hoping that we will be moving toward that. Which Something else that is happening at the state level is, if you've ever heard of the Stepping Up initiative, which Sedgwick County, I think it was last year or two years ago, adopted the Stepping Up initiative. That's sort of like a loosey-goosey program like AOT, and they are looking towards going into juvenile programs to help them. So yes.
Awesome, good question, Jason. Yes, ma'am.
I saw something about some event going on at the Century 2 on Thursday.
And thank you. Yeah, you reminded me of that.
I missed it because no one tells me.
Listen.
Because she has no email.
Well, I'm computer illiterate, and that's so you know. Everybody knows that.
I'm about to tell you to just call David once a week. So what she is talking about is, and I thank you so much for reminding me, there is a group of 30 plus faith communities that have created this coalition called Justice Together, and they are working towards homelessness and mental health in our community, and they are having a meeting on Thursday night at Century 2. Joe or Jason just told me that parking is going to be free for that event. I believe it starts at 7, 6? All right. Okay, doors open at 5:30. It starts at 6. It starts at 6. It is free to attend. They will give you a ticket at the door that has some information on the back that they'll have you fill out and give back to them. But other than that, it's free. I unfortunately am teaching a class that night, so I can't go, but I know several of our board members have mentioned that they're going to be there.
Are we having anything that we're going to show on it there? Or?
I have not been heard back from anybody I've reached out to.
Okay.
So if anyone has any contacts with them and can ask them, if NAMI can have their table there.
But not me.
Nobody asked you.
I volunteered.
So, any other questions?
But I'm not going to do it because you don't call. Here's the $10.
Oh, I got a bigger one for the final one.
Do you want to do both?
Yeah, we can.
So that's Justice Together for homelessness
And mental health. Oh, wrong thing. I'm not giving you my
Do I need to tell anybody I'm going?
No.
Yes, you do. By
No.
email.
I was going to say, you can register online or just show up at the door.
I've got tickets.
And Jennifer has tickets.
There you go. That solves the whole problem. Thank you very much for stepping up, Doodad.
All right, what is this now? So this drawing is for a $10 gift card to Quick Trip.
By the way, I just want to say, Tracy, I do love you, and you know that.
That's your sign point.
So the three numbers are 063.
Oh, that would be me.
Awesome.
$10 to Quick Trip. How much is it?
Yes.
I don't remember how much. I bought it a couple months ago, and I honestly don't remember. It's like $15 or $20.
Love
We'll
you,
throw
Lord.
all of these back in here, and we'll do the big drawing.
Okay.
And I'll mix them up really well.
You already had. You still have it.
All right. So, any other questions before we do the final drawing? All right, guys. Do we want somebody other than David to draw?
I'll draw.
No, why would you trust David?
Apparently not.
Shake it up, shake it up.
Okay, 065.
Back to that one.
I don't think anyone was here for that one.
Oh,
Nope.
hold it. 065.
We have a winner!
Well, you won the big one, which is a $50 Visa gift card.
Yes.
$50 Visa gift card.
You can use it anywhere.
Exactly.
Congratulations.
This is all I have for you. If you are
Laura was so kind as to Facebook Live this whole presentation, and so go to the NAMI Wichita Facebook page, which is facebook.com/NAMI Wichita, I believe.
And we also have a page on Instagram. And so just so you guys know, any of the information that we've shared here is going to also be posted on our social media. along with just general information. So we'd love for you to like and follow us and interact with us and share our posts, because that gets the word out to share NAMI with other people, and for other people to find hope and help just like we all have.
And actually, it's NAMI Wichita KS. Now I'll shut up.
All right, guys. Well, have a great night. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome. Great job. Yes, ma'am.
Hi. If you're teaching peer-to-peer, I'm not so sure I will come.